What is going on, people of YouTube? My name is Kurtyoy, and today I've got a bit of, I say his news, it's really old now. I'm sure everyone in the football world has found out that Brendan Rodgers has been sacked. He's lost his job as Liverpool manager. I want to release this video because I'm not sure whether I can get the review and preview out day early, so I thought I'd just really talk to you about my thoughts on the Brendan Rodgers scenario and why I think Liverpool have done the wrong thing. I'm one of a few people in the world that think Rodgers should have been sacked. Now, over the summer, it was well known that there was a 50% Rodgers in, 50% Rodgers out. It was debate whether he'd even keep his job coming into the new season, and he has kept his job. And worryingly so for them, I think, is the fact that they've given him so much money and yet not supported him. I mean, I'll get their transfers up quickly, but for me, if you're going to back a manager with money, you've got to give them time. I'm recording this 5th of October. Yeah, the 10th is October, I'd have to check. But 5th of October. 2 months, given the fact that he's signed a whole different team, the way you look at it, is quite astonishing for me. The fact that they've let him go. I mean, I'm looking on the screen now, I've just got it up, I shouldn't have got it up before, but Benteke's come in, Firmino's come in, Klein has come in, Joe Gomez played a decent part, has come in. You also got James Milner coming in, you got Danny Ings coming in. They're big players, and I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, oh, you've got Divock Origi coming back into the team as well, you've got Sturridge coming back to try and fit in. For me, I think they've done the wrong thing. It is obviously poor results, and you can't doubt that. Any other season, I think yes, but again they've been given money to Brendan, hasn't really done that well with it. Whether it was him or the board making the signings, but if you're gonna put money behind a manager and say, come on, you can do a job, you've also got to give them an extra amount of time. This isn't any normal season when they're signing 1, 2, maybe 3 more players for like about 15 million between all 3 of them. This is a season where they're in transition and they need change. I'm looking at the amount they've spent. You put £80 million odd behind a manager for a team that is, it's going to struggle to get top 4. That is their aim, but they're not there at that stage yet. And for me, there's many things culminating. The fact that fans were constantly on him, no win in the Merseyside derby will have been key for me. Whether they already made a decision, because I think there's some reports saying that he was, told before the game they didn't want to disrupt it and he took it well. Some was told that they made a decision after the draw. Some was told they made a decision before the draw and let him know after the draw. Even though they won 17-0, it wouldn't have changed the outcome. Rodgers would have gone. But for me, I don't know, there's something wrong about it. Admittedly, Jurgen Klopp coming to the Premier League after he said he'd take a year out would definitely be a good signing for them. However, you've got a few months to play with a squad that you haven't got any choice on, and then the fact that in January, I feel like if a new manager, when a new manager comes in, not if, there's going to be a lot of change. You'll see first team players that are playing now that won't play. You'll see players that were considered, maybe not very key players, and players that didn't have a future at Liverpool suddenly become most important players. And admittedly, some of it isn't Rodgers' fault. I mean, look at their squad. Henderson has barely played this season. He got injured, came back, and also got injured again. You've got Daniel Sturridge who's coming back to fitness. But for me, they did strengthen well in the window, and they did deal well with having the injuries. Because you've got Benteke, you've got Ings who's firing decently at the moment. In the midfield, you've got Firmino coming in, you've got Milner coming in. Some good signings along with Henderson, proving to be quite a leader in the Liverpool team. And also defending-wise, you haven't really got anything. That's where they've, I'm saying, been let down. Because you look at their back 4. They've got Gomez or Moreno. Gomez is inexperienced, but done a good job in the first few games he played. And Moreno does like to get forward, but you've got Klein. Fantastic signing, notably. Probably one of the best signings of the window. I did do a thing with it in the podcast where I rated the best positions on the pitch and the best signings out of 10, and I think I gave Klein an 8 or an 8.5 because I think spending that much money on an English right back as well is very, very cheap, as well as maybe Fabian Delph being cheap as well, but going to the wrong club. But they're 2 centre backs. You got Skirtle and you got Lovren plays sometimes, and you've got Sacco. You also got Mignolet in goal. The way Rodgers' playing style is you saw it countless amount of time throughout his time. He'd play out from the back. Now, when you've got centre backs that can pass and can play out of the back with confidence, then you can do that. Say if you've got a centre back partnership of, let's say, Man United at the moment, Smalling and Blind. Blind, obviously, he's not a centre-back, but he's a fantastic, he's got a wand of a left boot. And Smalling, he's developed his passing game, his all-round defensive game fantastically. Because of the fact you've got Matteo Darmian, also you've got Ashley Young maybe, Luke Shaw maybe, whoever plays in left-back position, maybe even Marcus Rojo coming into the centre-back position, but they can play out from the back. You look at them and they're always so cumbersome. You saw it in the Everton game, the Merseyside derby, they were cumbersome, they weren't confident. It's not like a team where Manchester United that, one pass, my alarm's going off. There we go. Like one pass can, put them on the counter attack and get the defence, get it out of the defence. It's, the passes are going to and fro the defenders, they're going back to the goalkeeper, and then eventually, once they give up, it's getting launched or out wide. And that has been a key. They couldn't get the ball clear, and they conceded, and that was what cost them the 3 points in the end. And also, Mignolet did have a fine performance. I'm not going to discredit his goalkeeping ability, because as much as people can say, maybe he's a bit poor, I think he's a fantastic goalkeeper. But, you've got to then look at the results. I mean, they're not in a relegation battle like Chelsea. We're looking at Chelsea in 16th relegation battle. They're 4 points above the relegation zone. It just looks odd. 8 points from 8 games from a Chelsea team, minus 5 goal difference. You don't expect to see that. But you're looking at this. From the start of the season, 1-0 away from home against Stoke, that can be considered a good point. Even though they didn't play well attacking in front of goal, good point. You got Liverpool 1-0 at home to Bournemouth, when Bournemouth had a wrongfully disallowed goal and their goal should not have stood. That effectively could have been a 1-0 loss to Bournemouth, first home game of the season, which would not have helped Rodgers, and he could have been out even earlier than the time he's out now. 0-0 against Arsenal, they were lucky because the goal that was scored by Ramsey as he was onside. He was called offside though, so again another game they got away with it. Lost 3-0 home to West Ham. I think West Ham's away form is fantastic, although they did struggle against Sunderland away from home. For me, that's a shocking result. They lose 3-1 to Manchester United. And I think that was a turning point when you think, you're not matching teams at all. You've been beaten easily at home. 3-0 at home is a horrific result. Any result at home should not be. If you're a club like Liverpool, you should be looking to make Anfield like the cauldron it was. When from start to finish, the crowd would be pumped. Now you don't see that unless it's a derby game or a big game. And after that, you get 1-1 with Bordeaux, 1-1 with Norwich on penalties against Carlisle, and you got 3-2 win. You scraped it against the really, really struggling Villa side. You've also got 1-1 against FC Sion and then 1-1 against Everton. I think it's those poor results that cost them, and you can see they're scoring goals. Not many of them, but they are scoring. They're just always conceding as well. You look at the fact they got 3 clean sheets in the first 3 games. And I thought, excellent. Time to get Liverpool defenders in there. I think I got him in for the Arsenal game. And then from then, it was just constant downhill for any Liverpool defenders or goalkeepers that you had in your team. And on to the main point. Is it the right decision or is it the wrong decision? For me, they should have given him at least until December. If things start working at December, because they're not going to get relegated. Worst thing comes to worst, they have a David Moyes sort of season. But David Moyes was given time, and it didn't work out. A lot of time, admittedly, but it didn't work out, so they let him go. For me, it's definitely the case of should have been given more time. I've stood by that, and I'm saying, Rodgers out. Admittedly, I understand it, the frustration. Being a Sheffield Wednesday fan, I understand the frustration. Having Dave Jones in and playing 16 games in a Championship season without a win or something like that, I think it was around there, and not getting the sack. I understand people's frustration, but he should have been given more time. Just my personal opinion, because if you give him more time, the team could then gel. You find a formation that works. You get Sturridge back to full fitness. You get Henson back to full fitness. All of a sudden, you've got a very good team that could go out and get top 4. And then, Liverpool fans would not be anti-Rodgers. But Suarez, admittedly, one quick thing to add: Suarez did make him look very good when Suarez was fit. He did win a lot of games for Liverpool single-handedly. But that's all I've got to talk about today. After this I'm going to be looking at stats for the review and get that to you, and get that recorded, sorry, also the preview, and make sure everything is done, uploaded, so I can get back to a regular, like, scheduling the uploads fantastically, and also the podcast as well. Don't know if we're going to get any guests this week. If you want to take part, then as always, you know, you can join if you want. But thank you guys for watching. Nevertheless, if you like this video, then leave a like, and anything in the comments down below, and subscribe if you feel like I'm worthy. And I'll catch you all in the review, which will be later on today or tomorrow. Peace.